Hello Nero Knights and welcome back to the Hero of Kendrickstone. It's been a long time since we last played this. I think last time, let's have a look, last time we were, we'd gone to see that crazy wizard guy and he wants us to do some research for him. We've read this a little bit. I tell you, for past year I've been doing research. What is this research anyway? Right, we're going to start straight away, get back into this. We're back! The Hero of Kendrickstone by Paul Wang, John Games. Oh, straight away I've got to do a voice for fucking Eisen. Okay. My predecessor, Milius of Concordat, was an expert on the flowering court, Eisen explains. As far as I can tell, Milius's research project involved reconstructing a spell the mages of the flowering court were rumored to have mastered, namely teleportation. Teleportation? As far as you know, teleportation is impossible. Eisen waves a dismissive hand to a look of incredulity. I know, teleportation is impossible. I thought so too, until I took a look at the misbegotten bastard's notes. I think teleportation is very much feasible, and much more importantly, it might be able to give us an advantage against the bandits outside the walls. Seems that we're going to be doing some teleportation. And how would have teleportation magic help us against the bandits? I ask. The wizard answers your question with another question. Do you know what the most important things in warfare are, boy? You shake your head. Eisen smiles broadly. My god. Perhaps happy to have a chance to remind you that he was once a general as well as a wizard. The most important thing for any military force is logistics, to be supplied well enough to move and to fight. The second is reconnaissance, the ability to find the enemy. At the moment, the bandits have the advantage in both. They know the forest better, can move faster, and are not tied to a permanent base. If we are able to teleport soldiers, those advantages become ours. You nod, you can see it now. If the Knights of Kendrickstone were able to teleport at will to any location and back to safety in the city, they would be able to sweep through the entire forest in an afternoon. When the bandit hideout was found, the entire strength of the city's forces could be at its door in an instant. With such magic, even the best defended cities can fall prey to the small fighting force, constantly blinking in and out of battle. Mere bandits would be child's play. Eisen sees comprehension dawn on your face. Now you understand, yes? What do you need me to do? What do you need me to do? The bard has turned into the wizard's puppet. God damn it. The task I need you to accomplish is both very simple and very complicated, Eisen replies. That answer, of course, only raises more questions, which, you're beginning to suspect, is something this particular wizard does quite often. What's that supposed to mean, you ask? The wizard smiles. It means exactly what I said it means. I require a piece of stone from a flowering court ruin as soon as possible to finish my research. Luckily, I have learned that the one is very close, one of several stone circles in the forests around the city. It is barely 6 hours' walk to the east, not far off the road to Concordat. The wizard detaches a piece of the apparatus sitting on the table behind him. When he holds it out to you, the orb of brass and black stone pulses blue softly. When you take it in your hands, you feel it tugging lightly at your fingers, pulling towards the east. East is that way. It's pulling this way. Oh my god. Pulling towards the east. This device will pull towards the location where my research indicates its ruins are, over here. This will make your job much easier. It will, in fact. This whole thing seems to be easy, even a child could do it, sorry. The road to Metropolis of Concordat is one of the best roads in the entire realm, and the wizard's contraption should guide you there the rest of the way. The only problem is that your destination happens to be in the middle of a thick forest, covered with snow and ice, infested by who knows how many bandits. Very simple and very complicated. I'll go right away. Very good. Step onto the platform when you're ready to go. It will take you down to the tower. Eisen smiles so broadly that you can hardly tell how weary he must feel. May you move swiftly, may the sun guard your back, and may you find what you seek, he adds. In the meantime, I think I will get some sleep. With that, Eisen turns away, slowly picking his way towards another door, this one to the side. With nothing else to accomplish here, you follow the wizard's instructions. You step onto the platform a moment later and it begins to sink. Slowly at first, but then with substantial speed. Until less than a minute later, you are back in the brightly lit entry chamber of the wizard's tower. Dame Mildred is waiting for you outside the entryway to the wizard's tower. More alarmingly, she is dressed in her full armour, her great steel helm in one hand and the reins of her charger in the other. JonnyNero, she says, I need to talk to you, it's urgent. Your mistress's expression is more intent and countenance more grim than you have seen it in months. Something is wrong. What's going on? The knight leans in. One of the Duke's nephews, Sir Edmund. The young fool went off thinking to look for bandits to slay. Last night, alone, he hasn't come back. You caught glimpses of the knight in question during your months in the keep. From what you remember, the man has barely been a knight for a year, and he's not from the city besides. He would be entirely out of his depth in the forest, and with the bandits seemingly everywhere. His Grace forbids the knights to organise a search party, Mildred continues, her voice bitter. He says it's not worth the risk. It isn't, he replied. One foolish knight? He should be left to surrender the consequences of his actions. Dame Mildred shakes her head. He would be chastised for it, but he should not die for it. I am searching the road to the north. Orders be damned. I need you to go out and look for him on the road to the east, as far into the forest as you dare, she commands, in a tone as cold and driven as bright steel. To the east? I've already got something I have to do in that direction, you explain, before filling your knightly mistress in on the particulars of your conversation with the court wizard. My knightly mistress. When you finish, Mildred nods. Very well. I suppose if you can spare the time for this errand, you should do it, but the life of a knight of Kendrickstone comes first. Do not forget that. We nod in agreement. You would better get going then, the knight says as she hoists herself back up onto her horse. Good luck, she shouts as she spurs her warhorse back down the ramp towards the city. Oh shit, I've highlighted everything. Sorry. My apologies. It takes you another quarter of an hour to walk back down until your feet step off the strangely warm rock of the causeway and onto the open squares of Kendrickstone's Great Market. In the spring when you have arrived, the Great Market was full of people. Rows of colourful silks laden with goods and draped with bright awnings and crammed into the vast space. Islands of commerce and the vast thronging sea of shoppers. Now, after the long months of winter, the market is all but empty. A few counters are still open in the cold wind, and perhaps a dozen merchants are still selling their goods in the marketplace, which has seen its clientele and shops stripped away by the weather and the privations caused by the bandit campaign. However, there is always the possibility that one of these merchants may have something you will find useful. Will you see that the remains of the Great Market have to offer, or will you set off on the eastern road right away? Let's have a quick look at our dollar. Oh, we got $79. Let's have a look. Let's go back and we're gonna have a look and see what the market has to offer. You know, they're like, God, a massive fucking. It doesn't take you long to look through the stalls still open. The few persistent merchants who remain in business huddle around the centre of the vast space. Their tiny cluster of canvas and wood shop fronts is surrounded by abandoned stalls and bare cobblestones, the last vestige of life in a once proud hub of commerce, a dying child wearing a giant's trousers. Despite the limited choice, a few things still catch your eye. The items are, of course, immensely expensive, but what isn't in Kendrickstone is in this lean, hard month. One stall offers a vast array of hunting goods, all unsold. The merchant tells you that at this point, with spring on the way, hunters should be clamouring for their bows and slings and spears, but this year the bandits control the forest now, and no hunter dares enter. You have no training in the longbow or the boar spear, but a sling would only take a few moments to learn, and it would give you the ability to strike down foes at range, a valuable asset, even if the thing does cost 150 silver. Well, that's us fucked, we don't have 150 billion silver. One stall is doing brisk business, even now. The trader sells weapons, and in a time where every man, woman and child feels for their safety, when they venture outside the walls, tempered steel is in high demand. There's a sword on offer this morning. Oh man, I could totally use a sword. It is brand new, and it looks like it'll fit well in your hand. The trader asks a ridiculous sum of 400 silver for it, but it is worth the cost if you plan on getting into any fight soon. God damn! That is a ridiculous price. God. The trader also has armour for sale, and you see one suit that might just do it for you. It's an akaton of quilted linen and cotton, designed to be worn either under mail or by itself as light armour. While such protection won't stop a sword thrust or an arrow at close range, it might be enough to deflect light cuts or turn mortal wounds into minor ones. The suit sells for 300 silver, but it might be worth the cost. Lastly, there is a glass bottle full of some strange substance on sale on the counter of a trader with a rough accent of the Iron Marches. He said it is a potion of might, concocted to increase your abilities for the length of a day. You've heard in passing of such potions, tinctures used by marcher heroes to double their might, turn themselves invisible, or even heal grievous wounds in the span of 3 heartbeats. It is rare to see such bottles this far east, but perhaps, for the cost of 75 silver, it might be worth a try. So what do? Well, I can't afford shit, and I'm not going to spend 75 silver on a potion. That's like, I'm not buying shit. No, next. There's nothing here I want. In the end, you decide to head for the gates without buying a thing. The city gates are wide open, but far from unguarded. As you approach, you see half a dozen members of the town watch and another dozen townspeople besides, all of them standing at the ready, crossbows loaded and ready to fire. This makeshift garrison pays you no mind as you walk out of the gates. Their attention is entirely focused on the forest's edge, beyond the cleared land surrounding the city walls. You doubt any bandits would be stupid enough to attack the city directly, but the last few months have made everyone nervous, and you feel a little safer being under the sights of so many loaded weapons as you make your way down the open road. The road itself is even wider than the road you travel from Forester's Hollow. The route to Concordat is Kendrickstone's primary link with the long settled coast and one of its many avenues of trade. Were it not for the bandits, this road would be packed with traders, travellers and other would-be adventurers, churning and the entire route in an endless morass of mud. Today the road is almost unmarred, save for the ruts made by a few wagon wheels. At last, the bandit attacks have made the road easy for you to walk along. Within minutes though, you are past the open fields and into the great primordial forest that surrounds Kendrickstone. It is like walking into the midst of an army of skeletons. In a month or so, the huge grey birches and elms around you will burst into green and their leaves will blot out the spring sun. But for now, naked brown and grey bunches reach up and over you. For half an hour, you walk deeper into the forest, keeping to the wide road. At your belt, the magical stone the court wizard gave you continues to pull forward, a little to the side now, but forward. Then, up ahead, you hear noise, human shouts, screams, and the sound of steel on steel. There is a fight going on. What will you do? Ooh. I can rush forward to see what's going on. Ooh, got a bit of a sight in my eye. I can rush forward to see what's going on. I can move forward carefully and investigate, or I can give whatever's up ahead a wide berth. I'm gonna investigate. We're gonna engage stealth mode, and we're gonna investigate. You lower yourself into a half crouch, your hands on your weapon as you creep down the road, keeping as close as you can to the shadows offered by the leafless trees around you. What you see before you, and there really is no other way to describe it, is a pitched battle. The first thing you see is the cart. It's a big heavy thing meant for carrying cargo and people. The crates and sacks it was carrying are strewn along the muddy road. The ox that was pulling it makes panic sounds and pulls the grounded wagon with its frantic strength, doing naught save drag it deeper into the mud. Behind the cart, huddle figures, human ones. One carries an old rusty mace and a pitted pot helm. Another hefts a large crossbow, the sort capable of punching through mail like paper. Around them are a dozen bandits dressed in black and armed to the teeth. You've stumbled upon an ambush. At that moment, one of the bandits tries to dash across the road to outflank the upturned cart. He barely gets halfway across before another figure steps out from behind the cart. The newcomer is tall, powerfully built and covered head to toe in bloodied mail. In one hand he carries a shining long sword. On his surcoat is the red tower of blue chevron of the Knights of Kendrickstone. He must be the missing knight your mistress spoke of. With mighty two-handed strokes he beats the bandit's blade aside and then cuts him down with a great blow that splits him open at the waist. Ooh. Ooh. Even as the bandit falls screaming, two arrows bury themselves in the body of his killer. One drives deep into the knight's left arm and the other into his thigh. The mail-clad man staggers back with a grunt as fresh blood joins the rust-red stains already covering his armour and surcoat. Then 5 more bandits charge him, weapons in hand. The situation looks desperate. With the knight distracted by his new assailants, nothing is keeping the bandits from overwhelming their remaining victims from the other side. You can help turn the tide if you're willing to take the risk. Do I have a cunning plan to stop the bandits? I don't think so. I'm going to charge in. I charge in to fight with the defenders. You step forward, reaching for your weapons. Yes, you must help, but how and who? The obvious option would be to help those pinned down behind the cart. That would mean charging in to face the main body of bandits to hand, taking pressure off the people trapped behind the cart. A risky business, certainly. Alternatively, you could try to help the knight against his attackers. Either way, whether you help the knight or those trapped behind the cart, one fact remains the same. If you help one, the other will have to face the rest of the bandits by themselves. What will you do? Oh man, this is like a Mass Effect style choice, isn't it? If I aid the knight, does he need the aid? He's a knight of Kendrickstone, isn't he? So perhaps he doesn't need the aid. But I don't know those behind the cart. And Dame Mildred, I'm loyal to Dame Mildred. I have to aid the knight. I will aid the knight. The knight's eyes go wide for an instant. Oh shit. The knight's eyes go wide for an instant as he sees you running towards him, staff in hand. When you take position behind him and make it clear you are here to help, he raises the hilt of his blooded sword to the visor of his open-faced helmet in a hasty salute. Then the bandits are upon you. Your attackers rush the two of you, weapons in hand. One comes at you with a hatchet. You look to his narrow, pitiless eyes as you block his first swing with your staff. You heave him backward and he lunges for you again. Those bandits are not the same as the ones you faced nearly a year ago. They show no fear and nothing of hesitation. The axeman's second swing comes low. This time you hook the axe's blade with one end of your staff and wrench it out of his hands. An instant later you swing the other end of your stout weapon up and crack your foe soundly across the head, sending him falling. Pitiless these men and women may be, but they can still be beaten. You regain your posture just in time to see another foe lunge at you, short spear in hand. You try to parry the thrust, but the spearwoman's crouch enables her attack to come below your guard. The sharp steel spearhead seems to dive for your navel, only for it to fall away as the shaft behind is sundered by a bloody sword clenched in a mailed fist. Woo! Shit, that was close. We almost got speared, right in the belly. Before you can thank him, the knight turns back to his own attackers. There is no time for words in such a battle. Your second foe throws away her spear and reaches for the dagger at her belt, but she is too slow. You leap forward and bear her to the ground. Sharp nails draw blood from your unarmoured wrists as she claws at your hands desperately, but her struggle is in vain. You bring your staff down on the bandit's neck and the stout wood crushes your foe's throat. She flails desperately, but only for a moment. Then she is dead. Ooh, bitch. You regain your footing to see the knight grappling with another bandit. A second attacker creeps up from behind, a dagger in his hand. Quickly, you rush to your ally's aid. You take your staff in both hands and bring it down on the bandit's back with a mighty blow. A moment later, the knight manages to break free of his attacker's grapple and strike down his foe with the pommel of his sword. You take a second to catch your breath, only to find yourself beset once again. Two more bandits rush at you from the direction of the car, which must mean... oh no. Oh no. The knight gives a low animal growl, his face contorted in rage as he turns to face his new attackers, sword in hand. You follow, but not fast enough. Reversing his sword, your ally grips the long blade with both hands and beats down the last pair of bandits with terrible two-handed strikes of his pommel, howling in anger with every blow. Used in such a way, a sword is no less brutal than a mace. There is little left of the two bandits by the time you reach them. Your ally, the knight, is on his knees, sword across his lap, weeping. There had been four behind the cart, a man, a woman, and two children. They hadn't gone down without a fight, but down they did go, their tangled bodies spread in a heap behind the cart in which they piled their belongings. Their blood continues to mix in the mud of the road and mingle with the blood of those who killed them. The knight says something through his tears, too quiet for you to hear. A moment later he looks up at you. He's even younger than you first thought, no more than 21 or so, although grime and blood covers his face, and anger and grief twist his youthful features into a grotesque mask. "Why me?" he repeats. "Why did you save me and not them?" Oh, God, no! Oh, God, no! Well, I feel a penis. Oh, no. I tried to save everyone. I didn't, really. My orders were to save you, Sir Edmund. Your orders? The knight replies, his anger giving way to confusion. From who? My mistress, you reply, Dame Mildred of Sonomercy. She sent me to look for you. Sir Edmund nods a little numbly. I see. He breathes out a long and weary sigh. I thank you. I wish you'd come sooner, but I thank you nonetheless. What are you doing out here? Can you make it back to Kendrickstone? The knight nods. The edge of the forest isn't far off, is it? Not at all, you say. The cleared land around the city should only be a few minutes' walk away. And I should be fine, the knight replies. I can still walk, and I doubt the bandits will attack me again. What are we doing out here? The knight looks off into the forest for a moment. Looking for bandits to fight. I was hoping the bandits would let their guard down since we didn't patrol in winter. I thought that maybe I'd catch them by surprise if I went before the spring really started. Sir Edmund sighs. I was wrong. I was ambushed. I lost my shield and my horse. I fought my way out and was on my way back when I came across the waves of the cart and the bodies around it with a weary motion of his arm. So you jumped in to help, you ask? He nods. You are a credit to your knightly oath? This is the stupidest thing. You are a credit to your knightly oath. The knight gives you the slightest twitch of a smile. I'm glad you think so, for all the good I did. Farewell, Sir Edmund. The knight raises his hand to the visor of his battler's helmet again in a weary salute. I will return to the city to report in and have my wounds seen to. Farewell, adventurer, he replies before heading back down the road to Kendrickstone. You turn the other way. You still have a job to do. It doesn't take long for the pull of the wizard's device to take you off on the road and into the forest. Your boots sink into the soft ground and you soon find yourself up on your ankles in mud, dead leaves and bitter cold snow melt. The world gets darker as you probe deeper into the heart of the forest. The tangled bones of the underbrush pick at your trousers and boots, and the trees become more tangled, their trunks thicker and more ancient, their distant limbs casting patterns of shadow into the muddy, wet forest floor. The pull grows stronger still. You must be close now, but ahead you hear something that stops you in your tracks. Footsteps. Lots of them. I'm moving closer. I want to see who it is. You keep yourself low as you move through the brush, hiding as best you can as you press forward through the tangled mess. The sound of footsteps grows louder, echoing through the trees as you keep trying to move quietly. When you see exactly who's making the noise, you grow quieter still. Bandits, more than a dozen of them, all armed and all clad in black. Some strain under sacks stuffed full of who knows what. Others carry only their weapons. Even through the scents of rotten leaves, you can smell the stench of blood and death on them. Worse yet, the wizard's orb seems to be pulling you in the direction they are going. What will you do? Oh, shit. I'm going to follow the bandits at a distance. You follow the column of black-clad marauders as closely as you dare, watching as they march deeper and deeper into the forest, along narrow trails that are all but invisible to your unfamiliar eyes. Your every movement brings a lump of tension, knowing that the wrong step or a bad stroke of luck could leave you exposed at the mercy of these brigands. Finally, after an hour that seems at least half a year, the bandits make one last turn. The orb pulls savagely now, as if it's ready to rip itself free from your belt. It's like, You follow the black-clad column around the bend, past the trunk of a massive tree, and then stop. Not 20 paces in front of you is the edge of a clearing, and at its centre, like a great coin punched into the dirt, sits a vast, worn circle of smooth, perfectly proportioned stone. The device pulls right towards it. This cannot be anything but the ruin Aizen told you to seek out. At the edges of the circle stand 4 equidistant pillars, each stretching high into the sky, almost as high as the branched tangle of the forest upper canopy. Each one is cracked and weathered, but all stand tall. However, the ruins are not what make your breath catch in your throat. I like my words. As ancient and majestic as they are no match for what is within them, a sight to make your blood run cold. From within that worn stone circle boundary stands another circle, this one of wood and field stones stacked and lashed together in the height of a tall adult. Oh fuck. Within the second circle stand row upon row of rough tents, darkened fire pits, stands of arms, and dozens of armoured figures clad all in black. It seems the ruins you must find are the stronghold of the black-clad bandits. One and the same. Oh shit. Right, we're gonna leave it there. It's we've made progress. We went into the forest. We got many innocent civilians killed, but we saved the night. We did Dame Mildred's job, didn't we? We did that. So we did all right, and we're away on our next quest for our crazy wizard person. Okay, so we're going to pick that up next time. Much sooner, hopefully, than the last episode. Sorry it took me so long to get back around to this crazy working week. Anyway, we will come back to the hero of Kendrickstone very soon, and we'll continue our adventure. Thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you want more. And it'd be great to hear any feedback you've got. Always remember, I'm here. You can say hi in the comment section down below. And thanks again for watching me and the hero of Kendrickstone, and I will see you next time.